What is up, my brothers and sisters, my agents of respect? It's your boy Trey Johnson back with another episode of the No Disrespect But podcast. Before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Always feel free to comment. Just make sure you keep those comments respectful. And if you're interested in supporting your favorite podcaster, yours truly, the link to do so will be in the episode description. Now, today's episode, usually, or at least consistently, we've kind of really focused more so on specific sport topics, what's going on in NFL, NBA, WNBA, college, things like that. And today's episode covers that in a sense, right? Um, and I'll explain that in a second. So, but it's not specific to sports. It can be in any industry, whether it be sports entertainment, whether it be the music industry, the movie industry, honestly, just your day-to-day life. And the subject matter for today is hating. Hating. I think if you're doing anything right in this world, you have some haters, but you also have some supporters. But nevertheless, you have some haters. You got to be doing something right to have it, right? And I think that comes as a part of life in anything you do. But what I've started to see more and more, especially within discourse around sports, is hate that allegedly arises because of those who support you. And what I mean by that is, hey, I don't really hate Trey. Trey's a cool guy. It's the people that root for Trey or support Trey that get on my nerves. And they're always talking about how good he is and how nobody else is as good as him. And that gets on my nerves. And so I take the liberty to, sorry. So I take the liberty to then bash Trey because I'm tired of the people that support Trey. So nothing that Trey has done, nothing that Trey has said, nothing that Trey, like I said, performed in whatever field he's in. It's the people that support him the most that piss me off. And so I'm going to then take it upon myself out of my day to make him out to be an enemy. And I use myself as an example, right? But we've seen that. We're seeing it now with Caitlin Clark. We're seeing it. We've seen it with LeBron James for his 20+ year career. We've seen it with Michael Jordan. Like I said, we see it in the music industry with Nicki Minaj fans, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Kanye West, whatever. Name the entertainer. We see it in film. Again, you might see it in your neighborhood where people are just hating on somebody for no real reason other than who supports them. And look, I value hate. I think it's important. I think it's an important part of life. But what I hate about hate, and there's a distinction between hating and hating like a coward. And so I want to talk to these cowardly haters, right? The folks that right now are saying, it's not Caitlyn that I don't like. I don't like her fans. Her fans are setting her up for this and that. And so I'm taking upon myself to set her straight. The fans that say, it's not LeBron himself. Like, yeah, it might be some things that he does, but in all retrospect, it's really his fans that get on my nerves. The way they talk about him being King James and how they bash other players and lift him up, yada, 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 whatever it is. I think that is a cowardly way to hate. If you hate a player or hate a person or something, you need to own it and stand on that shit. Because I'm seeing a lot of y'all hide behind, oh, I don't hate them. I hate who supports them. And I want you right now, if you're listening, to understand how insane, how idiotic, how pathetic, and how weak you come across. And what's worse, and the reason why I definitely use the word weak, because it's mainly men that have this stance. And I don't understand it. Trust me. I am a willing hater. I hate I hate the Atlanta Falcons. I will tell you that to your face. There's nothing. I mean, an Atlanta Falcons fan can be the greatest gift to God's green earth. I know Falcons fans. They're pretty cool people. Some of them, I mean, the 10 I know, maybe it might be the only 10 in existence, right? But the team, the colors, the players, the organization, hell, sometimes I hate the city they play in because my hate for the Atlanta Falcons runs that deep. I'm on record saying I hated Kobe Bryant. I respected the hell out of him. I love him as a human being, but I hated Kobe Bryant, the player. Why? Because he has 5 rings that, in my opinion, belong to Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan has 5 less rings because Kobe won 5 more championships. That's the way I see it. That's why I hate the Lakers. That's why I hated Shaq on the Lakers. Anybody that was associated with the Lakers brand, currently to this day, anyone associated with the Lakers brand, I do not like because I do not like the brand. I am a big hater. I have valid reasons why I hate. But I can tell you right now, fans are far from the reason why I hate anything that I hate when it comes to sports, entertainment, whatever it may be. Because one, that's under the assumption that your shit doesn't stink. Like, I can't talk about how bad a fan is or how aggressive fans get or how biased fans get because I'm a biased fan. I can't talk about how you view your favorite player when I view Tim Duncan in the highest of regards. And I view the San Antonio Spurs. I view Nick Saban. I view, these teams and these people that I root for actively. I view them in a high regard. So who am I to condemn you or anyone, right, for having the same passion? Do I understand that there are stands and people that go too far, i.e., the Alabama fan that killed an Auburn fan, or because Auburn fans vandalized something on Alabama's campus, Harvey Van Dyke, I believe is his name, poisons their trees? Like, I mean, yes, there are people that go too far. But I never once, because of what an Auburn fan does, or because of what an LSU fan does, or because of what a Falcons or a Cowboys fan does, has that ever dictated how I feel about that team. Making myself or expending energy to hate something that hasn't really done anything to me other than exist and get support from the people that care for it the most. And when I'm seeing these grown men online saying, "Oh, I don't hate this person, I don't hate this team because of the team," it's because of their fans. It makes no sense to me because we all have the same experiences. We all do some of the same things, especially with things we care about. To have stands, understand that everything or every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So if there's a stand or there's a cult, as some people are calling rabid fan bases, guess what? There's just as big a presence of haters. And it's always funny that the folks doing the hating always say, well, I'm doing this because of them, but never once stop to think maybe if you hated less, they would stand less. Maybe they are going above and beyond to support that athlete because you hate them so much. I will tell you, LeBron James is the perfect example of this. Why? Because coming into the league, the kid did nothing but get drafted #1 overall at Cleveland. And it was almost as if there had to be a campaign to hate him. Sure, he calls himself the chosen one. He's Cleveland's favorite son. Born in Akron, Ohio, born and raised in Akron, Ohio, winning state championships, bypasses college, gets drafted by the hometown team. What part of that doesn't make you think the kid is freaking chosen? But grown men took it upon themselves to say, for the rest of his existence, for the rest of his career, I have to hate him for that. And because unprecedented hate was coming in the kid's way, You created a rabid fan base, and especially hate to try to defend Michael Jordan, who didn't need defending. His resume, his body of work defends itself. He doesn't need you. Just like from a LeBron fan standpoint, LeBron doesn't need his fans to rise up in arms and defend his honor. His resume does it alone. But what kills me is these keyboard warriors, these people in all these on social media that just hate on athletes and entertainers and things of that nature. And if you're going to do it, have the balls to say you hate them because of something that they are doing. If you stick out your chest, puff out your chest, and have the nerve, especially as a grown man, have the nerve to say, I hate so and so because of their fans. You should really look in the mirror. You should check your manhood. I swear to God, because that is about one of the lowest things that you can do. That's not what we were here for. To gossip and troll and to make all these crazy fan accounts, to or burner accounts to get to feed off. And what's worse, now you're doing it to a 22-year-old girl. You're doing it to Caitlin Clark. Some of you are doing it to Angel Reese. Some of you are doing it to Aja Wilson, Breanna Stewart, Diana Taurasi. It doesn't really matter. And I'm not saying, look, hate is hate. If you're going to hate on a player, at least have some basketball reasons, or if it's a musician, something about their music that you're just not feeling, or maybe it's their personality that rubs you the wrong way. But if you're going to fix your mouth in your face to say, I hate them because of somebody else, are we really in a world where we're letting other people dictate our actions and opinions of people that have nothing to do with what we're talking about? And one of the reasons why I say it's cowardly, right, to hate in that way is because there's nothing that individual, that player, that musician, that entertainer, whatever it may be, or that person in general, there's nothing that they can do to change your opinion, to change your everlasting hatred of them. There is nothing that they can do to change that, because you puff out your chest and proudly proclaim that your only beef with the player isn't even with the player at all. It's with their supporters. And guess what? As long as they have breath in their body, even when they're dead and gone, as long as they were somebody to someone, they will have supporters. So to say that, oh, I can't rock with this person, or I don't like this person, or I'm going to make it my mission to tear them down because of their supporters, get a fucking life, man. Get a life. Because clearly you're not doing good enough to have haters. Because if you ever been a person that's been hated before, especially when you haven't done anything wrong, it's really not a good feeling. Especially knowing that there's nothing that you can do or say to change that, because the problem isn't even with you. It's with other people that you don't even know. It's ridiculous. And that's why we can't have proper sports conversations. It's why I started the No Disrespect But podcast in the first place. But as I had these conversations about how to have a respectful discussion about sports topics, when we first started, we were talking politics, just general life. How can we have respect in these conversations when we have these cowardly haters? And when you're a cowardly hater, there's no way you can respect the person you're hating on. Like I said, I hate the Lakers. I respect them. I hate the Celtics. I respect them. I pretty much hate every basketball team in Texas that isn't the San Antonio Spurs. I still respect them. I hate certain players. And I know hate's a strong word. And what I mean by that is, more times than not, I just hate that they're not on my team, or that they're costing my team something. That's usually what that means. And I am not afraid to own that. But never once will I or have I ever or will I ever say, well, I hate them because of this? Like even Cowboys fans, yeah, they're obnoxious about the 5 championships or whatever that they have that most of their fans weren't even alive for. But guess what? They got 5 of the motherfuckers. I'm still bragging on the Saints won from damn near 15 years ago. And guess what? I will continue to do so. If we don't win another one for the next 30 and 40 years, I'm still gonna talk about it. Who's gonna stop me? You'll think you'll swear for God. We just won the shit yesterday. Because that's just my right as a fan of that organization. And you can hate it. You can hate me. Hey, that's fine. But to take that and then say, well, I'm just gonna hate the Cowboys or I'm gonna hate the Saints just for that. No, I think that's cowardly hate because Saints fans, Cowboys fans, whatever fans, they're always going to support the person that they're supporting. And yes, I understand that people go overboard. I think there are haters that go overboard. Like I said, hate, I think it's a good thing. It's a natural part of this entertainment. You need supporters and you need haters. That's what drives things. Yeah, Caitlyn needs haters. Angel's gonna need some haters. But hate on their game. Say, hey, I wish she would stop taking as many 3-point shots. I think she needs to work on the mid-range. I'm hating the whining going on. You know, if you're gonna hate, have a little bit of personal, a personality to it, or but don't hate her. Oh, because her fans are putting her this and putting her that. Especially when the numbers are on people's side. But this notion that we police how people can be fans is ridiculous to me. And it's even more ridiculous when we use something like that to penalize the player. Like somebody really told me, oh, Caitlin Clark fans are hating on Juju. Like where? Can you prove it? And even so, even if Hawkeye 19947 says something off the wall about Juju, one, how is that Caitlin's fault? She didn't do it. 1A is how are we taking micro level infractions and generalizing it to a whole people. I think I would have a certain experience with that and how negligent and how the negative impact of generalizing a whole people can have on someone. I got upheld on my own property because they didn't think the car I was driving, but should have been for a person like me or where I was. I must have been stealing something because that was their impression of people that looked like me, so they generalized. So can we stop generalizing and taking what a few people do and making it this macro level issue with any sport, with any industry, with the people in your neighborhood and your family? It's getting ridiculous. And I'm just talking from a sports sense. That's where I'm having this conversation. But just in life, look, I get it. You're gonna be envious of somebody every now and then. You're gonna hate on somebody every now and then of a I wish I could have that or I wish I can do that. That's just a part of life. That's human nature, right? And I keep reiterating that. But to hide behind, to hate someone that has done nothing to you, hasn't cost you anything, and to not only apply hate and bashing and just micromanaging of these individuals, you have the nerve to try to absolve yourself from criticism because, oh, their fans are this way, so I have to be this way. Are you a 2-year-old? Are you a child? Because that is what you sound like. And right now, again, I'm talking to the grown ass men that are keyboard warriors that are hating on grown ass men and LeBron James and Michael Jordan and Kobe and all them. young women, grown ass women too. Y'all hating on these folks for shit that they didn't do. If you hated Caitlin Clark because you were an Ohio State fan and she broke your heart, and you like, man, I hated playing that motherfucker. Okay, we can have a healthy conversation about that. It's a healthy hate. It's a competitive hate. You don't hate her. You hate what her talent has made you feel, right? That's okay. Kobe Bryant's talent has made me feel pain. LeBron's talent has made me feel pain. And I hate saying I hate them because I respect them. But from a competitive standpoint, it's like I can't stand these motherfuckers because they've taken something from a team I root for. And if they had not done that, my team would have more. It's really just as simple as that. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not changing my life one way or another. And again, if we're going to hate, let's start to hate appropriately, okay? Because what y'all are doing, the way y'all going about it, not even being man or woman enough. I ain't really talk to ladies because y'all be hating sometimes too, but it is what it is. To hide behind saying that other people are responsible for what your actions are doing. That's just idiotic to me. It's cowardly to me. It truly makes no sense to me. Do I think folks can go overboard in terms of support? Yes. I think LeBron fans go overboard. I think Dallas Cowboys fans go overboard. I think Saints fans go overboard. But I guess what? That's why they're called fanatics. That's why it's called fandom. It comes with the territory. But reasonable people are able to separate the supported from the supporters. And if you make the choice to loop them all in the same bucket, or worse, instead of going to the people that you think are doing too much, you instead attack someone that you know won't defend themselves because, quite frankly, you don't matter enough. They don't even know you. And they'll never speak to you. They'll never address you. And so you get to go on with life saying whatever the hell you want to say about this person or about these people or about these things and feel good about it. And go to sleep at night when after you say your prayers, instead of asking for forgiveness, you're making an excuse that as if I wouldn't do what I do if it wasn't for them. Well, I can tell you right now, you're getting a first class ticket to hell if that's how you live in your life. I can tell you that right now. If you live in your life based on, well, I'm doing these bad things because these people do these bad things, or I'm hurting this person because these people protect this person so much that they hurt people and I want to hurt them by hurting the person that they support. Yeah. First class ticket to hell. And I can guarantee you I won't see you there. So have fun. But y'all gotta stop, man. Like it's ridiculous. We can't even talk sports. Like the WNBA is getting the most odds it's ever seen, and all we're talking about is hate, envy, and jealousy. We can't talk about the product that's on the court. And I understand toxicity sells, but come on. We're ruining what we've got before it's getting started. We're ruining legacies in sports entertainment. We can't talk about how dominant of a career LeBron James has had. We can't talk about how dominant of a career Kobe Bryant or Tim Duncan, Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, um, Wilt Chamberlain. We just can't have honest conversations about what we saw on the court and just say, hey, this is what we saw. This is my opinion of what I saw or how I feel about it. And it is what it is. No, We have to stoop down to the lowest piece of dirt in the world and debate everything, compare everything, diminish everyone in the process. And instead of owning it to being yourself a stand of whatever cause it is, you try to throw it off on other people. You try to cast the blame on others. Own your shit. Own your hate. Or continue to be the coward that you are. But guess what? I'm tired of it. I'm going to start calling your asses out. I don't have to attack the players that you support to get to your asses. It's time to really start talking facts about things. If we can't talk about what we're seeing without having to be personal and personal attacks, not even on the person that you're talking to, but on the players. And what's funny is even when you try to do the personal stuff, you don't know who you're talking to. Somebody tried to call me a casual and talking revisionist history. I've been watching WNBA since its inception. As a child, I've been paying attention to women's basketball, men's basketball, sports in general. I grew up in professional locker rooms, people. So you can't attack me on being a novice and not understanding the things that's going on, whether I be a stand or not. But I'd rather you at least attack me instead of, in my opinions, rather than just growing a hatred for what I like and attacking those people or that thing that did nothing. It's ridiculous. I don't do that. People that I respect, especially in this business, whether it be sports entertainment, the podcast industry, whatever it may be, people I respect, they don't do that. They don't get into petty conversations or I gotchas. Okay? So, world, do me a favor, grow the hell up. If you want to talk about the sport, talk about it. Make sure you know what the fuck you're talking about before you do. If you're going to hate, hate appropriately. And don't hide behind others or don't blame others for feeling the way that you feel. If you don't like a player, you don't like a player. Don't say you don't like a player because of their fans. That's weak. Stop it. Get some help. Because I can assume what your life is looking like if everything you do is dictated by the actions of other people. So that's my episode. But as I always say, if I offended anybody, it's a good thing, right? It's an opportunity for me to learn. It's an opportunity for you to teach me. All I ask is that you keep it respectful. Peace.